Thanks for staying with us right here on Sunrise as we continue this morning. Now, Aquafresh and Mafikizolo have partnered in a campaign that celebrates freshness. And of course, both these brands have evolved and stayed in the minds of South Africans for years. So we're going to find out more what this is all about. Nhlanhla Nziza is here with me. And Theo Khosink, of course, from Mafikizolo. Also joined by Marketing Campaign Manager at Aquafresh, it's Lee Brown. And from Harvest PR is Lemi Khumalo. Okay, so let's start with you. What is this campaign all about, Aquafresh and Mafikizolo?
Yes, so it's a seamless coming together of a brand, a band that is so fresh. They've reinvented themselves over 2 decades.
Yeah, they're the kings and queens of reinvention.
They have.
Yeah?
And Aquafresh has been around for a long time as well. So 4 decades we've been around for, and we keep reinventing ourselves as well, and keeping it fresh for our consumers.
Okay, so let me just give us sort of like the PR drive behind this entire campaign. What sort of messages are you trying to put out there?
So from a PR perspective, but also just generally from a brand alignment perspective, it just made sense for us to get these guys who've been for 20 years known as the new kids on the block. I mean, Mafikizolo literally means new kids on the block, but they're still here 20 years later. And from a brand perspective as Aquafresh, we have been around as, and we've been iconic in the lives of South Africans, known as the brand that does it all in one. And we're still here and we're still fresh and we're still relevant. So the messaging really is all around just freshness, keeping it fresh, still fresh, staying fresh, reinventing, re-evolving the brand so that it stays relevant within the consumer's landscape.
Okay, so let's talk about the dance moves, the lyrics, the fashion, all of those the things that make Mafikizolo. You know, how do you remain fresh and also at the same time, you know, I'm sure all sorts of brands throw all sorts of ideas at you and you go, yeah, nah, yeah. How do you do that?
Do you know? You know what? Everything is pushed by the passion that we have for what we do, and when we go out there, we want to give it our all, you know, as a band. And from the first day when Mafikizolo came out, you know, we wanted to look good on stage. We wanted people to be fixated on the stage and not look anywhere else. Therefore, we had to make sure from the beginning that our performance, you know, is up to date. Because when we started out, people didn't know our songs, but we wanted them still to pay attention when we get on stage. So that has always been important, you know, to us. And even the songs, you know, the kind of music that we do songs that people will relate to, and we do songs that people will sing along to. And because when we're on stage, we want to interact,
and all of that,
interact with the crowd and just become one.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's talk to that. How do you choose the brands that you decide to partner with? How do you say yes to this one and no to the other one?
It's very difficult, but I would talk about our partnership with Aquafresh. I think there's so many things that are similar with us, you know. We like to reinvent ourselves. Like that's one of the things. You know, we always stay fresh, new ideas. You know, we've been called Mafikizolo for a very long time. And other people have been saying, oh, guys, don't you think it's about time that you guys need to change your name?
No, hell no. I hope you tell them that. Like, no.
But look, it's 20 years in the game, and we are still relevant, you know. So I think the partnership, you know, really does make sense, you know, because we always want to stay fresh all the time, you know. So yeah, the partnership does work. All
right, so let's talk about that, Lee, in terms of like the campaign. Exactly what does it entail? What do we, as a consumer, what are we going to be seeing, and what do we need to understand?
So we have a new SKU out there, and it's Aquafresh Extreme Clean, and it gives you breath 8 times fresher than any ordinary toothpaste. So the partnership with Mafikizolo, all about freshness, coming together, and also on our microsite, Aquafresh Mafikizolo is their new Love Potion song, and there's going to be more to follow.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So when your brand decides to partner with you, obviously, because you're musicians, there is a song that is created and all of that. How do you make sure that you keep the essence of who you are, make the brand happy without being very cheesy?
You know what? We worked with an amazing team, amazing director, and honestly, it was all about the team effort. And I'm happy that also the guys from Aquafresh, they didn't like impose anything, or they gave us space
To be creative,
actually
yeah.
be
Okay.
creative and create the story, create the storyline for the music video, and everything came out beautifully. People she said, the video is out now on the website, which is aquafreshmafikizolo.co.za. So you get an exclusive before the official launch of the music video. You can just go on the website and check it out. But it's a beautiful music video, and the way Aquafresh was incorporated as well was actually, it became part of the whole storyline. So it wasn't like, oh, what is it doing there? So
Okay.
it became part of the story nicely.
Okay, so as a fan, Theo, how are you going to make sure that, I'm not jaded by this relationship of you guys, and then I buy into it and I support this campaign that you guys involved in?
I think a lot of people, they like staying fresh. Let's not talk about the freshness. The thing is that even the single that we've chosen, we are very, very careful about that, because the market, Mafikizolo market, comes way back from the days of Lotto to Ndamba now until today, and we were very wise in choosing the single, because it's a single that appeals to everyone, the little one to the older one, so it does appeal to a larger market, and I think for business and for Aquafresh, that's where we're targeting the same market, so I think it does make sense. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are also that band that has got a whole continental thing going. You have the pressure of keeping it South African fresh across the continent. How do you keep that going?
Obviously, with traveling,
Yeah.
we got to learn other people's cultures, other people's languages, learn other people's music, and new sounds, discovered new sound across the continent, and working in this album, the 20 years celebration of Mafikizolo, we wanted that to come through, for people to hear that, oh, there's still Mafikizolo, but there's that new sound, that fresh sound that we're hearing, there's that growth, there's people can actually hear that we've gained experiences around the continent. So that's what we did with the song, without losing, the original.
The essence of what
yes,
Mafikizolo is about.
exactly.
Okay, I'm happy with that. Finally, okay, let me, to you, the importance of local brands supporting our local stars, putting in the money, because the real Lotto can be alive.
That is true. I mean, we all know that arts and culture is one of the most underserved sectors, and it was really, really key for us to find a brand that is locally rooted but still with a global flair. And as Nhlanhla and Theo were saying, that they've been in this long enough to know to stick to the signature Mafikizolo sound and style and look and feel, but also they've been in and around the rest of the world, and they've engaged other cultures, and that has been infused so much in their music. So all the other singles that have been coming out lately have had this global flair, and for us it's important to really highlight that looking beyond just locally, while still entrenched locally, but looking beyond is really, really important for a brand to stay fresh and to stay relevant. Okay. And that's been key for us.
Well, great stuff, guys. Thanks very much for coming through. Look out for that campaign, as you've heard, keeping it fresh with Mafikizolo right here on Sunrise. What a better way to kick off your Monday. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thank you.
So much more still to come. Do stay with us.